What's going on, guys? It's Alex with Common Sports Central. How's everybody doing? Do we have a banger for you guys today? UFC 307 is coming to us this weekend. I'm going to have a full card breakdown, full card prediction. Might drop some bets or some picks that I have here for you guys. However, I think one of the best parts of this video is towards the end of the video after we talk about the main event. I'm going to tell you guys what I think the biggest call out this year is going to be that should change the way we're going to look at the light heavyweight the light heavyweight and the heavyweight division. So stick until the end. Comment down below what you guys think about that prediction once we get there, right? So take a quick second if you haven't so already. Give me a like, give me a follow, and let's get into it. Now, I know you guys want to get into the meat and potatoes. You guys don't want to mess around too much with the prelims, but we're going to go early prelims, and then the main card. So let's get started. We have opening up the card is Tim Means versus McGee, right? So here's the thing. We have a 40-year-old in Tim versus 39-year-old. It's your stereotypical grappler versus striker. I don't like either one of these guys to be outstanding, but I do think that McGee's going to try to wrestle Tim. I think as long as Tim can stay away or get back on his feet, I think he's going to find a way to land a few good ones on Tim. I see this one going the distance, and I see Tim squeaking out a decision here. It's not exactly, the best way to start a card, but it's also not too bad, right? So, the second fight to open up the early prelims, we have Carlos Esparza coming off of a 2-year hiatus versus Pennington, right? So, here's the thing. So, Carlos Esparza is coming off a 2-year hiatus. I think she's coming off of this hiatus for motherhood. I think she's got a different reason to fight for now. I think that's what it is. Go ahead and let me know down below if that's the case. Now, is that going to determine everything? No, but Pennington has been in a few close fights during which she lost the decision because she couldn't get back up. She got taken down, and for whatever reason, she just couldn't find her way back up. And Carlos Esparza is probably one of the top 2, top 3 wrestlers in the division. So I think the Cookie Monster is going to take her down, and it's going to be one of those fights where it might be boring, and we might sit there and boo because it's going to a decision. But nonetheless, Carlos Esparza, I think, is going to take it. So that was match 11. Match 10, and the last match of the early prelims, we have OSP versus Ryan Spann. And again, I'm looking at the ages here, right? OSP, 41 years old. What can we say about him? So he's been in the UFC forever. I think we haven't seen the best side of him in a while now. Hats off for this length of UFC career and the whole nine. However, I think it's a bad matchup for him. Spann's not only the bigger, quicker, faster, stronger fighter in every sense. I think that he's coming off a performance where he realized a lot because he if I'm not mistaken, I think he lost to Anthony Lionhill Smith, and when you're losing to that guy and the way that he lost to him, it's like, oh man, you got to reconsider yourself at 33 years old. You're in your prime. What are you doing? So I think Spann's gonna want it more. I think Spann's gonna come in here heavy, and he's gonna land a few good ones on OSP. I don't know if he'll put him away, but he's gonna take that victory on that one. I think that might be one of the few fights where I would start looking at what my book would have, what my sports book would have as the fight does not go the distance. I would be checking that out. But again, let's wait a little bit closer until after weigh-ins. We're looking at weigh-ins right now at 2-3 days away. So after weigh-ins, we'll have a little bit better of example as to how we're gonna look at that fight. So that was fight number 10. That was the last fight of the early prelims. Let's switch over to the normal prelims. So first fight, Cesar Almeida versus Igor Potieria, right? So that guy, the only reason why he's memorable to me is because he fought a legend in Shogun Rua. And I think a lot of fans are going to remember that after he beat Shogun and the way he beat him, he did a dance or something like that, like a super celebratory thing. And it's like, look, dude, you're not going to have a legend here. You're not going to have a guy at the tail of his career. It's not exactly, a moment where, you should drop an emote on us mid-cage, right? Like, have some respect for the legend, kind of go from there. So the fact that he's fighting a guy from Brazil on this one tells me a lot because, he's going to fight that much harder for his countrymen and the disrespect that happened to him. At least that's the way I see it. That's the story that I have. And there's no way that the UFC during the broadcast isn't going to try to paint that picture too with the highlights and stuff like that. That being said, give me Cesar Almeida. Give me Cesar Almeida for sure, right? But the money line is minus 400. So maybe we can find a different bet to go there with Cesar. But the prediction would be Cesar's going to take this by a landslide. I don't see a direct path to victory for Ihor. So yeah, give me Cesar Almeida on a good victory for my boy Shogun Hua, right? So thanks. That's match 9. The second match of the prelims, we have Austin Hubbard versus Alexander Hernandez. Hernandez is a minus 170 favorite. So on this one, so Alexander Hernandez has a way better resume than Hubbard, and it's not even close. However, it seems to me that whenever the lights are brightest, Hernandez just doesn't find a way to push through and get that victory whenever he needs it the most. So that being said, am I tilting my hat for Hubbard? I'm not sure. This is one of those fights where I think the closer that we get to it, we might see the line move a little bit in favor of Hubbard just because of Hernandez's inability to finish it. I mean, I don't know if that's exactly why the line's going to move. Maybe the value that they're going to see there at Hubbard, and I personally think he should be the favorite. Anyways, that being said, how do I think that's going to go? I'm not sure. I'm kind of torn about it. I think just based off of experience, and if Alexander Hernandez finds a way, I feel like I should kind of lean towards him. But I was just thinking about Hubbard. I don't know. That one's has me split down the middle. Let's just go with Hernandez catches him just based off experience. So let's go with Hernandez on that one. And again, he's a minus 170 favorite. So second fight of the prelims there, not too shabby. Third fight, Marina Rodriguez versus Lucindo, or what is it? Yasmin Lucindo, right? So, we have a 37-year-old versus 22-year-old, right? So we have a ton of experience versus a youngster, an up-and-coming one. But I think that's as big as the difference goes. We know that Lucindo has a big takedown advantage on Rodriguez, but also, show me who you fought. And, that's the issue with her. She doesn't have a great resume yet, but she's 22 years old, and Rodriguez, I'm telling her career, right? She has a great resume, but Father Time is undefeated. So on this one, to me, it seems a lot easier. I think Lucinda's going to find a way to take her down, and I think the better cardio is on her end too. So, I think youth prevails in this one, and I think Lucinda gets the big W. So, let's go with that. Let's go with Lucinda getting a big W on that one. The last fight of the prelims, and this is where the bangers start, in my opinion. You got Buckley versus Wonderboy Thompson. So let me just take a quick second here and let's pause real quick. So Stephen Thompson, he's a bigger fighter. He's also 41 at the time of this fight taking place versus Buckley, who's 30. So at 41 years old, when are we going to make the switch from Stephen Thompson being called, and all my friends that have heard me do this spiel, forgive me, but when are we going to change his name from Wonder Boy, being that he's 41 years old, to Wonder Man? I'm just saying, I've even told him that. I told last time I ran into Steve Thompson, said, hey, when are we going to change it to Wonder Man? He laughed it off and he took off. I mean, we barely spoke for all of 2 seconds whenever, stereotypical meeting a fighter at an arena. I mean, they have things to do and things to go. But anyways, I wanted to put it in his ear and I said, hey, you're old. Why are you still a Wonder Boy? You should be a Wonder Man. Hashtag no Diddy, right? So it's one of those moments where what do you guys think? Let me know down below. Are we switching from Wonder Boy to Wonder Man? Are we going to get that started on this channel and then kind of push that from there? I think we should. Let's try it. So, Mr. Thompson, you're seeing this. We need to change it to Wonder Man, and we'll go from there. All right. So back to the fight. Stephen Thompson, amazing karate. He bounces all around the octagon. Joaquin Buckley, we know what he's capable of, right? He's changed divisions, looked amazing ever since then. I think Buckley's one of those cats where he doesn't care if the people are gonna boo, ooh, or nah, because he takes a certain game plan and puts it to effect. We've seen that Stephen Thompson is not exactly the best on the takedowns or on the ground. So that's what the game plan for Buckley should be. Should be get in there, try to, stand with him for all of 10-50 seconds and then take him down and, work him down there. Now, it might not be a fan-friendly fight, right? If he takes down this road, but who cares? Get the W. It's a significant win over a ranked guy. Push your name out there, and I think Buckley has to find a way to do this. He's 11 years younger. He's way stronger. He's got the grappling upside. So, unless Stephen Thompson finds a way to catch him and catches him right in the chin and gets him knocked out, I don't see a path of victory for Wonderboy Thompson. So let's go with Buckley on this one. Buckley to get the victory over him. Now, he could get a finish. He could get him to tap out. I'm not looking at that. I'd be looking at the minus 220 Buckley money line. So let's go with that. And with that, let's switch over to the main event. So first fight of the main event, we have Roman Dolidze versus Kevin Holland. So in this one in particular, kind of really hits home because I'm a big Kevin Holland fan, and I don't think this matchup is amazing for Kevin Holland. So Kevin Holland is the longer fighter here. He's a younger fighter here. He's a more experienced because he's got a better resume than Roman Dolidze has. But is this one of those matchups where he's going to see himself get outpowered, pushed up against the fence, and it's just going to be like a clinch fest? Perhaps. I think it might be a clinch fest. And we're just going to see, who can throw the better elbows or who's going to land the better strike as they're getting out of a clinch, I think is going to be what's going to end up sealing it here. My heart is torn because, again, I don't think it's a good matchup for Holland. However, we got to go with Kevin Holland. He hasn't exactly had a good year, so I think he needs to round this out in a good manner. So I have Kevin Holland taking the victory here against Roman Dolidze and going from there. Again, this is not one of those fights where I think there might be a finish. I think we're gonna push that off and kind of go from there. The next fight, or the fourth to last fight now, right? We're in the second fight of the main event. We have Kayla Harrison versus Caitlin Vieira. Oh my goodness! Just the current odds are minus 1100 for Kayla Harrison. So, good luck getting something good on there. So, what is there to say? Kayla Harrison is better in every aspect of this fight. There was talk about her being a stand-in, an emergency stand-in, should something happen to a fight later on in this card where they're fighting for the belt. She's that good where she's ready to step in. I think Kayla's going to go in there and just ragdoll Caitlin Vieira in any way she wants. I think if Kayla really wants to, because age is there as a thing with her too. I think she's 36 now. If she wants to pursue getting this belt quickly, getting fast tracked there and getting that Dana White privilege to get there, I think she's going to have to push and get a finish here. She gets a finish here and she's able to call out one of the girls in the main event and say, hey, before the year's over, give me one of them. And then, whoever gets the belt, and we're going to talk about this, right? But whoever gets the belt tonight on the co-main event that Kayla Harrison can challenge, if she then gets the belt so this would be 2 fights down the road, right? I don't see a way that she doesn't call out Amanda Nunes. They're former training partners. At some point, there was rumors that the reason why Amanda went and opened up her own gym and went and go do her own thing was because America Top Team was leaning more towards Kayla Harrison. She was just a better fit. The coaches liked her a lot better. And I think, the writing was on the wall. I think she saw that eventually Kayla Harrison was going to be a contender, right? So, I don't know. What an amazing thing. Kayla Harrison's going to go. Again, she should ragdoll Caitlin Vieira. She should call out one of the 2 girls that's going to win the belt, or one of the 2 girls fighting for the belt later on in the fight. And then after that, if everything goes to plan, hopefully she can convince Amanda Nunes to come off the couch. But it remains to be seen. There's a lot of things that have to happen perfectly for her in order for that to take place. I think it's going to happen just because of her particular skill set and how good she is. But we'll see. We'll get there. So, again, Kayla Harrison on that one. The third to last fight, Jose Aldo versus Mario Bautista. Excuse me. Jose Aldo at 38 years old. He's coming off a big victory. Now, he had retired because he had a little bit of a bad spree there. He wasn't doing well. His health was a little bit in question. Weight cuts were kind of come to him. But since he's come back, it seems like he's found another side of him, and he's been doing really good. It seems like maybe he's doing better on tracking his meals for the weight cut. I don't know what it is, but he has looked extremely solid since he came back. So I think much in line with that, I love Mario Bautista, but what does Bautista do that's better than Aldo in any way, shape, or form? I don't see it. I think Aldo's better in in every aspect of the game. And even being 7 years older than Bautista, I still think that at 38 years old, Aldo is still quicker than Bautista. So, yeah, give me Jose Aldo, give me old school Jose Aldo, and we'll go from there. So, other than Caitlin Vieira, we've been siding with the Brazilians here. So, let's go with that. The co-main event. We were talking about Kayla Harrison in a minute, right? She's a contender for this division. Let's switch over to the co-main event. Julia Pena versus Raquel Pennington, right? Or I should have probably said Pennington first. She's a champ. Um, what can I say about this fight? There's a lot of freaking moving parts. Pena hasn't fought, and I want to say it was like 2 years. Pennington, a lot of people think that she shouldn't have the belt, that, she was, given this fight in which she got extremely lucky and she was able to get the belt. Look, that doesn't matter. MMA math is not a perfect science, even though I'm here trying to argue that with you guys right now. So I think you look at both of them and you say, well, who's going to do what? And then kind of go from there. So I think they're both similarly sized as far as like height goes and weight goes, but I think Pena's just built a little bit better. She's a little bit thicker. She's just a little bit heavier built. And look, her path to victory is going to be the exact same way that she beat Nunez the first time that they fought. I think Pena's going to have to go to a brawler type system and just push the pace and come at her and just do this thing that she does. When she rushes girls, it reminds me, because I had this kid who had a younger brother, and they used to always fight, and the young brother just didn't care for any type of defense whenever he would attack his old brother. I mean, of course, he knew that he was at a disadvantage, so he just swung nonstop trying to get something to land. And all hell to everything else. So that's what kind of reminds me of Pena. That's kind of her striking style. Not a very technical striker, but a good striker at that, right? So I think that's going to be the path to victory to Pena. I think Pena, just her years of experience, who she's fought, her resume, and now, is ring rust going to be a thing? I think for some people, ring rust will be prevalent. I don't think in this one, Pena's going to be, too heavy on the ring rust, because look, she was coaching against Nunez, and then she had that fight, and it's been 2 years ever since. But she hasn't had a fight in the UFC, but I know that I've seen her in the backgrounds on training videos and stuff like that. I know she was a sparring partner twice now, so it's not like she was sitting on the couch. So give me Pena, and that might be the ones where we look for what is the finish of that one, because I don't think that one's going to go the distance, right? So finally, we are at the main event. Alex Pereira versus Khalil Rountree. So when this fight was first announced, I was like, all of y'all, right? I was like, why is this a thing? Why are they even fighting? Who, like, number 8, or like, why is it? But the more that it's come on, and the more that I've seen it, the more that this fight has grown on me. I think that even though Khalil's resume, doesn't show, what Alex has, where he's beat 5 champions, 4 knockouts on 5 champions, something like that, right? I think it's still somewhat solid. I think where the difference goes is what they've done with that record, right? So, Khalil's lost to Johnny Walker. Khalil's lost to Ian Kuntalaba, right? And here recently he's gone on a little bit of a winning streak, but not without noticing different things. So he popped, and he was self-admitted for or he self-admitted that he was in a pop on a drug test. So having his issues there. Well, Alex has been literally running through the entire UFC. So how do I see this fight going? Well, I think it's going to play out just the way that most Alex Pereira fights play out. I think Alex Pereira is going to be looking for that finish of, fighting off that front foot, trying to get it. Now, Khalil's going to be one of the first guys that's going to, stand there on the front foot and maybe, try to take it to him too and try to get that knockout. Khalil already said he's not interested in taking shooting for a takedown. Now, that might be mind games, but who knows? We'll see about that. I mean, if you're Alex Pereira, you have to have been training to prevent getting taken down the entire camp. But that's either here or there. The way I see it playing out is this: I think the first round is going to be a little bit boring. It'll be a lot of them feeling themselves out. I think Alex knows the kind of power that Khalil has, so he's going to be worried about it, just as he's been before. I think once he feels him out, and second round starts, I think Alex is going to get the finish. So again, one of those fights where we would look at and say, well, what is this fight not going the distance, or what is Alex winning by KO? And maybe sprinkle a little bit on that. But yeah, give me Alex Pereira to retain the belt against Khalil Rountree and send him back down to maybe drop 1 or 2 in the rankings. But we'll see. Now, here's the thing. If you're Alex Pereira and you win this, right, and you know that you got Magomed Ankalaev waiting and they've been talking on Twitter, right, and you know that John Jones has a fight in November, how, and this is what I was talking to you guys at the beginning of the meeting, but how in the world do you resist saying, looking over and saying, Dana White, give me John Jones. Give him to me. Oh, my goodness. Would that not be every UFC fan's wet dream to see John Jones and Alex Pereira headline an event, right? So I don't think that would match up well for Alex Pereira. But look, if you're going to convince John Jones to stay in the UFC after, a Stipe win, which everybody thinks that's what's going to happen, the only way you're going to convince him is with something like that, a big money fight with someone like Alex Pereira, who John Jones has expressed already that he would like to fight. And the fans, I haven't heard of a fan that wouldn't want to see that, right? So do me a favor, you guys comment down below. Is that what you guys think is going to happen? Is that the appropriate call out for Alex to do after he massacres Khalil Rountree? And if so, let me know how or why, right? So that being said, comment down below. Don't forget to drop a like or sub. If you guys needed me to sub to you, I do it for you all day. So yeah, let's do that. So until next time, see you guys.